If you missed out on filing an Equifax data breach claim months ago, guess what? They have re-extended the window. So you now have until January 22nd of 2024 under their extended claims period to go ahead and file. So let me back up and explain what this is about. There was a settlement as a result of back in September 2017 when Equifax announced a data breach that exposed the personal information of 147 million people. They agreed to a global settlement with the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and 50 U.S. states and territories. And that settlement included up to $425 million to help people that were affected by the data breach. So after January 22nd, 2020, you can still file a claim for expenses that you incurred between January 23rd of 2020 and January 22nd of 2024 as a result of identity theft or fraud related to the breach, such as losses from unauthorized charges to your accounts, fees you pay to professionals like accountants or attorneys to help you recover from identity theft, other expenses you incurred while recovering from identity theft, like notary fees, document shipping fees, postage, mileage, and phone charges. Now they say you can also file a claim for the time you spent recovering from identity theft or fraud between January 23rd, 2020 and January 22nd of 2024. You can be compensated and they give a dollar amount and up to a certain number of hours. They are saying that there are limited funds available, so your claim may be reduced. And I think the funds are limited because the initial wave of being able to file claims had passed and there was payout. So this is what's left of the settlement, and they're allowing for this extended period for you to go ahead and file a claim. To find out more information, go to Google, type in Equifax data breach. You're actually going to see the Equifax breach settlement site pop up. And then there's also the Equifax data breach settlement from the Federal Trade Commission, which is a government site, the ftc.gov. And if you go to the ftc.gov, you can read more about this and you can click the link that they provide, which takes you right to this Equifax breach settlement site. So how did this data breach happen? Well, from what I'm reading online, the company, the credit bureau, was initially hacked via a consumer complaint web portal with the attackers using a widely known vulnerability that should have been patched, but due to failures of the credit bureau's internal process, it wasn't. Then the attackers were able to move from the web portal to other servers because the systems were not adequately segmented from one another, and they were able to find usernames and passwords stored in plain text that then allowed them to access still further systems. The attackers pulled data out of the network in encrypted form, undetected for months because the credit bureau, Equifax, had crucially failed to renew an encryption certificate on one of their internal security tools, and then that credit bureau did not publicize the breach until more than a month after they discovered it had happened. So with this compromise in data affecting 143 million people potentially, that's more than 40% of the population in the United States. We're talking names, addresses, dates of birth, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, all exposed. And then I'm reading that a smaller subset of records, about 200,000, also included credit card numbers. And this group probably consisted of people who had paid Equifax directly in order to see their own credit report. So if you're not sure whether you are impacted by this, go to the ftc.gov site, because that's a government site, and research this data breach and settlement. From the ftc.gov site, you can go click on a link, it'll take you to the Equifax site where you can read up more on this settlement and the extended claims period. And if applicable, you can file a claim. So that's how you know this is not a scam and this is not spam. And to learn more about these types of settlements, continue to follow me. And if you do think that you are a victim of identity theft, you see accounts that you know for a fact aren't yours, addresses that are not yours, just information on your credit report that's not yours, and you have tried disputing that information with the credit bureaus, the original creditor, the debt collectors, and nothing, they're not removing this stuff off of your credit report, or they're giving you a hard time about it, then please message me. It is a one-round dispute to all three entities, the credit bureaus, the original creditors, and the debt collectors. And if they don't comply, then we take legal action.